And we're back. Here we are again in the crazy, wacky world of Donald Kent art. Today, what we are going to do is some character design for another comic book job that I have. I'm not going to give away any information yet on this, but this is an older job that I did. I think it's about 5 issues, and then we're going to be kicking off the next 5 issues to wrap up the whole graphic novel. So these are characters that I designed for that project, and since it's back on, the job is back on, and the check's in the mail, I will be designing some new characters for the story, and that is one thing I'll be doing today. So there you go, and now you know. So I'm gonna get my pencils rocking and rolling. Now the first character that I'll be doing is based on the Moon Man meme. Does anybody know about that one? Who's Moon Man? Well, it's based on the Moon Man meme, so it can't look exactly like him. You know, it's a sort of a nod or a tip of the hat, if you will, to the character. So, but it's slightly different. So anyway, for starters, I kind of want to get the gist of the main form down. Let's see, you gotta figure, like, if this is his face here, then, you know, I'll do a slightly, what do you call it, like aerial view, and maybe just have him kind of hanging out, something like this. So the aerial view is sort of, or bird's eye view is more looking down on the character. And it's something of a device where you can put more emphasis on the face, or the top of the character. I do like the idea of using the suit that he's got in the meme. But these designs do have to kind of pass, what do you say, like the writer, producer, team have to kind of okay it, you know. So it's not like I want to go full on, you know, with the whole deal, but just to get like a decent pencil sketch. Now, he's wearing a tie in the meme, but here maybe I'll give him a bow tie. Just kind of shake it up a little bit, and maybe I'll give him a vest as well to give it some more interesting character. That actually is a nice idea. A little bit of style. Style for a smile. There we go. There you go. Now, I'm not a fan of bow ties personally, but I don't know. Some people make it a thing, you know. Isn't it like Tucker Carlson's like a bow tie guy, you know? I guess I associate it with, kind of old-time conservatives, you know. I think that's a fair estimate. So it's been a little bit of a while since I've streamed, and I'm not streaming quite as much lately, which I'm unhappy about. I wish that I were doing more of that. Alas, life happens. I actually got some really bad news today, so I'm kind of on a low at the moment, but I'm trying not to let it get the better of me. It's not world shattering, but it is Christmas shattering, so that's not fun. Um, so we'll see how it plays out. You know, you never know what's around the next corner. Um, we'll see. But otherwise, things are going okay-ish. Not ish. They're going okay. I had a good night last night. Went over to my drummer's house and we jammed on some songs that I'm writing. Sounded really really good. A friend of mine gave me a new amplifier, and it's a Roland amplifier. If any of you guys know anything about music, I'd say that's one of the top of the line amplifiers. It's not like $1 million amplifier. It's just a kind of a small practice amp, but that thing packs a punch. Whew. And additionally, trying to figure out how to think through how this is going to look. But what am I trying to say here? Additionally, what? It's got cool effects, like great special effects to it. So I'm just super psyched about it. I talked a little bit about that on a previous stream. I'm assuming you guys can see what I'm doing here. My channel's here and Winter Crusader 21. Great to have you guys here. Donaldo Kent. Yes, it is I. I am back. I have returned. So, yeah. My drummer, he's got an electric drum set, which is pretty fascinating because he can program, yeah, I guess he could program in sets, but it comes with what are called presets, and you can have like a 1970s drum set or a digital drum set or a Latin music drum set, and different types of sounds that you can get out of it. It's very cool. And yeah, I don't know. It's just good fun. So I'm excited. I feel, even though I'm like overextended in every way, I feel like I should be getting back to music. You only have so many hours on this earth. You only have so many breaths. So try to make the most of it while you can. You never know what tomorrow holds. I really think to convey the Moon Man meme, or the reference of that meme, you really got to have the glasses. They're those like Blues Brothers glasses, I don't know what you call those. There's probably a name for them. Hold on a sec here. Oh, shit. So how you guys doing? Winter Crusader and my channel. Ooh, fancy. Sorry, it was maybe a little inappropriate. What's shaking in your world? Anything interesting? So, excuse me, I am planning on having a Christmas stream on Tuesday evening, the 19th, and it's going to be pretty much an open door online StreamYard party on my channel. So I will ask a few influencers if they can come, old friends. I haven't gotten to it yet, but I need to get to it like right away, essentially. But I'm gonna leave a link in some of our chat groups so that pretty much anybody in the White Art Collective can just click the link and join. Now I don't know how many people can come on a stream at a time, like how much can StreamYard accommodate without crashing? You know what I'm saying? Um, there's a thing called a waiting room, which is essentially, you know, like a kind of a backstage where I can kind of have guests waiting and then, bring them on when, just rotate the guests is essentially what I'm saying. Um, and yeah, it's just a kind of like, hey, give us some highlights from your year. What do you got planned for next year? It's just your usual. It's just a casual stream. Probably play some Christmas music. Maybe um, show some artwork that people have been doing. It's essentially just trying to uh, promote what we do. But also have kind of like a little family time, if you will. Time to come together as a community and celebrate the holidays. Actually, that doesn't work. So this is a little bit of a weird looking character. I'm gonna try to angle this. Maybe I could just zoom in. Can I do that? Yeah, a bit. What does this remind me of? The Joker from the first Batman film? He has like that weird smile. I think that's what it reminds me of. That was super creepy. It's like his face was like mutated like that. I really loved Jack Nicholson as the Joker. I thought that was great. So again, this isn't meant to be like a super finished looking image. I have to kind of the look that you're seeing right now is actually from instructions. Like I wrote down some notes. This guy is supposedly pretty much has like horns on his head. He's kind of, I guess, like a devilish type character. So it's meant to have the shape of the Moon Man head, and then of course the way that I'm using these references, like the glasses, again, anyone who knows the memes will know that. Speaking of memes, do you recognize that guy? Does he look a little familiar to you? Moon Man Kent. Actually, that sounds kind of cool. That could maybe be my like jazz crooner name. Moon Man Kent, followed by Michael Bublé. Michael Bublé. I just love saying that because I feel so classy. Michael Bublé. Anytime that someone asks me a question, I don't know the answer, I just say, Michael Bublé. And they're like, oh, okay, back off. So, crooners. Maybe I should have been a crooner. Good question. I certainly could if I wanted to. This guy's some kind of meanish looking eyebrows here. He's got that Joker type look to him, But I'm thinking, I don't know, would this be a beard? That makes sense. Kind of does. Kind of does. It's pretty wacky. It's very much like a Batman villain. You know what I mean? Like, think about it, the Penguin. What the? Scarecrow, you know, like they're a lot of those villains are kind of silly. You know? So perhaps we'll have him. I don't know. I'm thinking maybe smoking a cigarette or something. You know, just to be just like that kind of guy. Let's see. But how do we want it to look? Maybe like this. That could be okay. So the way these things go is you just kind of sketch it out and then you tighten it up, you know. There you go. So I'm digging this. I think this is kind of fun. This comic book that I'm doing with this crew, it's a fun book. You know, it's make comics fun again is the Comicsgate motto. You know what I'm saying? I'm not like I guess officially like a part of Comicsgate. I did, maybe I am though. I did do a Kickstarter with John Della Rose, who's certainly one of the most well-known and outspoken Comicsgate content producers. He's a great writer, great guy, fabulous guy, and really down to earth. Like he's just, there's nothing, like he's very respectful. He's just very sweet. You know, he's devout Christian. You know, he's got certain values, and he just has like a good kind of standard about like the way that he behaves online. Good optics and stuff, you know. Great guy to know. So, the beard looks a little silly, but I guess I'm gonna have to just show the writer and producer what they think of this. Now, what is this guy's name? Well, again, I don't want to give away too much about the story, so I won't be sort of adding things like that, but I will say like, hey, there you go. That's one of the new characters in this crazy comic book universe. Hey, yeah, it's fun. I really enjoy doing character designs. It's just kind of, it's fun. I suppose I could cheat a little and show you guys some more character designs that I've done. Maybe I will. Hold on a second. Yeah, just for fun. Okay, so hang on a second. So let me pull up these bad boys. So I'm not going to go through the whole... Ooh, that's a fucking cool one. I'm not going to go through everything because there's a lot. But, I mean, I basically designed an entire universe. Now, granted, the writer comes up with the ideas and I design them. You know what I'm saying? You'd be like, okay, we need a character who's Nazgul. You guys know what Nazgul is? So what would be a cool looking superhero this is sort of like this Russian communist style superhero, it's kind of badass looking. It's kind of cool. This is more like a water Aquaman type character, if you will. And you just kind of have like your this and that. They're fun characters to design, but they're not like, I don't know how to say this, like if I have my own sort of superhero universe and my characters look quite different, like they just have different qualities, and maybe I'll pull out some of those at some point. But you have waifu, so these are the writer's concepts, and then I say like, okay, this woman has the ability to turn into like a kind of what do you call it, like a mermaid with like a carp body, and it's just different concepts. Again, from the writer. Like this isn't really something I would think of to do myself. but it fits into the universe of what this guy is trying to express. Kind of neat stuff. So like when this book comes out, all these characters are in this world. It's a really cool comic book world. So it just gives you a little bit of a flavor. I love this one. That's freaking crazy. I want to say so much, but I simply have to hold it back. It's pretty neat. This is actually one of my favorite designs. I don't know what it is. It just all came together beautifully. And again, the credit to the writer is like, this character is one of these Plant Man type characters. You've got like Swamp Thing, Man Thing, which is like a DC. I know Swamp Thing's DC, and Man Thing is whatever. And then you have like these goofy, funny characters that are sort of more comedic, and so on and so forth. And there's a lot of symbolism in them, as you could possibly imagine, So yeah, that's the deal. No, there's a lot more too. That's probably at least half, but I don't know. Anyway, next thing I'm gonna do is a character who is kind of like a girl you would see at a rave. She's got like, kind of like a cool rave style. Speaking of rave, maybe I'll put the music up a bit. So I'm looking at a lot of different fashions, and there's just tons of crazy cool fashions for women, in like the rave scene or whatever. Also sort of thinking through like kind of the body posture. I should start off a little more basic here, This is kind of like laying out the hips and the rib cage, and then maybe the head, and putting in sort of where the shoulders would be, kind of getting the legs out. So this, maybe not so much of that, maybe more of this. No. You always want to make it somewhat dramatic and kind of fun. A little superhero-y. Superhero-y. That is a new word. I just coined it. And I will have to copyright that straight away. How you feeling today? Oh, superhero-y. Alright, that's good. So maybe I'll do like this. It's funny how women's arms bend. Like, I don't know if you've ever noticed this, like, women can touch their elbows, but men can't for some reason. Like a weird anatomical thing. Now, I'm thinking some kind of like a tutu, fluffy tutu thing going on here. Yeah, these rave girls, they're fun girls, They just got a kind of like far out fashion. it's as if to say like we're letting it all loose, you know, we're setting ourselves free. I've never been to Burning Man. It's not the kind of thing I would want to go to. The last Burning Man, you guys might have heard the news about that. Like it was fucked up. There was just some crazy shit that went down, and it almost looked like some kind of big psyop type thing to poison people and stuff. It's pretty weird. I knew a dude years ago who was really into it, but creepy guy. Like it's weird in that kind of like modern techno hippie culture. There are some really wonderful people that are, you know, sort of just lovely spiritual people, and then there's these like creepy whack jobs. They're kind of mixed in, sort of, you know. I don't know, maybe it's like it's the only place they can be accepted or something. I don't know how that works, but it's kind of a thing. And it's not like my scene. It's not a thing that I hang out or what. But I do go to some clubs and events where, you know, that's kind of the culture. And it's for me, it's just fun to dance. You know, I like to dance, but I'm not like I don't buy the T-shirt, so to speak. You know. I've been kind of fleshing this out a bit. Maybe we can zoom in more. And I don't know. I mean, there's just a trillion things that she could be wearing. You know, like they have like these kind of wild headdresses that are. Beads and stuff. I was thinking maybe she could wear like overblown disco sunglasses, you know, kind of like funky disco sunglasses. That might work. Hold on a second here. My channel says Burning Man is a group of people who decided they didn't want the granola bar anti-amplified music requirements of the Rainbow Gathering. Both have deteriorated greatly. Yeah, I'm not, it's not my background. I don't know much about it other than like just a big party in the desert. I mean, there's, I think, better places to have a party. I've been to Rainbow Gatherings. Oh, interesting. They went from places where people looked for healing and balancing to places where there were too many mentally ill people. There you go. See, like there's something about that hippie culture that like attracts people that are like very, very fucked up. Like they healing, but I would say they're kind of, you know, a bit dangerous, you know. Maybe I think I just had an idea here. Yeah, I think I just had a cool idea for her. I think, you know, I don't see really anything wrong with people seeking healing or whatever that is. You know, there's a lot people have to deal with in their lives and what, you know. But there's a lot of room for charlatans, you know. There's a lot of room for. Oh, I know. Oh God, I just figured it out. I just came up with the best idea. She's gonna have like a huge feather fan. You know, this is like one of the things that it's sort of part of the culture, the dance culture. Yeah, I mean, when I was younger, I was I don't know, very hippie-ish, I guess, you know. Not, I guess, in the true sense of the word, but, you know, long hair and rock and roll and all that stuff. But I figured out somewhat quickly that, like, this is a highly dysfunctional um, culture. And there's a lot of just drug addicts and wackos that can't fit into society for one reason or another, you know, like they don't, whatever. And so, like, I always had enough sense about me not to go too far down that road, you know. Saw a lot of people go off the edge, you know, and I'm like, you know, like, okay, learn from that, you know. It's not what you want, you know. It's not the way. So yeah. Anyway, let's read on here. Hey, Sadie, welcome back, Sadie. Sorry I've been offline so long. My channel says just a reflection of the general. So Sadie says the electric controversy was well documented in the 60s. I think you're talking about LSD, is that it? When Bob Dylan, not his Jewish name, yeah, Bob Zimmerman. I actually know a woman that went to school with him, one of my former professors. When he destroyed the folk movement with degenerate electric guitar and lyrics, oh, that electric, okay, robbed folk of their, yeah, I mean, you know, we could go down that road, robbed folk of their cultural attachments to their music. You know, I'm in sort of the history of folk music. It was like a really huge deal when Bob Dylan went electric. And like to you and I, that's like, what? Like, what's the big deal? But it's kind of one of those things that's just like, I guess, like, you're not supposed to do that, you know? I've never liked Bob Dylan. I've just never. I mean, there's a couple songs I think that I could say are probably okay, you know. But I mean, that voice, you know. And actually, when I was in high school, somebody gave me, I think it was a drummer in my band, he gave me a book of Bob Dylan lyrics, which is essentially a poetry book. And, you know, that was interesting, you know, and I thought, like, this guy really should have just been a poet and not a songwriter, because, like, he just can't sing. I mean, for God's sake, it hurts, you know, it really hurts. You often wonder, like, you know, was he popular because he was popular, or because music industry moguls made him so? You know what I mean? Like, did they, you know, pay off the radio stations to play his songs ad nauseum and da 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 da? We do know that. Well, I can tell you that, like, say in the hip hop music industry, they're given, like, they're paid more money for, like, the more violent their lyrics are. And we know who owns that industry, you know. So, you know, and music, it's funny because a friend of mine last night, I was over at, I was just mentioning I was jamming with my drummer, and he was talking about Satan being the angel of music. And I was, whoa, you know, like, that interesting concept, you know, with how that works. I would definitely agree that music is a kind of magic in a sense. I'm not sure I like this pencil. It's too dark. But yeah, I think you guys get the idea. You know, it's an interesting topic. Let's read some comments. Sadie says what? Genuine folk music festivals are so cozy. Yeah, I would agree. And I love folk music. I was into it a lot when I was young. Kingdom of Vinland is here. Hallelujah. Great to have you. I'm kind of a metalhead. Okay. Um, I I accept you. I'm not a metalhead, but I do like a lot of heavy metal. And I've been buds with a lot of metalheads. Anyway, Sadie says Bob was a Trojan horse into our culture. Go figure. Yeah. Nothing wrong with metal. Yeah. Tell us, do you know anything about black metal? That would be an interesting. Like, I know, kind of, hold on a sec. Um, I guess I would say I know what it's about, but um, maybe you could elucidate on the topic. Could be interesting. Um, so the thing with these kinds of designs is that, like, you get, okay, like last night I was talking to someone about a t-shirt design company, and as a designer you get people who say, like, okay, I want it to be A, B, C, and D, and you're like, okay, well, that could actually be 1,000 different things. Like there's there's so many ways to illustrate what it is you want, and I can't, like, they are not designers, therefore they actually don't know what they want. In a sense, they know the, like, result that they want. I want it to be really stylish or really classy. I want to be able to charge X amount of money, or blah blah blah, whatever the thing is that their goals are, or like, want it to be badass, or blah blah blah. And but ultimately the designer's job is to sort of try to guess what the patron wants, and then provide that for them. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's in a sense our job to show them what they want, which is kind of a crazy thing if you think about it. You know what I mean? And I mean, it's frustrating because there's a level of, like, okay, I don't want to be here all day infinitely going over designs and over and over and over. Well, a little more of this, a little less of that, or I don't know, and I don't know, and on and on. That's, time is money. You know what I'm saying? So you definitely want people to give you a clear idea of what it is they want. What I'll say is, like, hey, send me, like, go through the internet and look up stuff based on your concept, and then send me the images, and I will. I need a starting point. I can't just kind of, like, pull rabbits out of a hat, so to speak. I think you guys get what I'm saying here. But yeah, like, one of my big loves is Joni Mitchell. I'm a huge Joni Mitchell fan. Even though she kind of went into sort of, like, jazz rock fusion-y type stuff down the road with Help Me, and did, like, Jaco Pastorius on bass, and Pat Metheny on guitar, all that cool stuff. That was a nice little period there. But the early stuff was exquisite, really, really exquisite. And then I would say that, I mean, Van Morrison is not a folk artist, but there's a lot of music that he does that has a kind of an organic, folky quality to it, I guess I would say. Big fan of Van Morrison. Okay, going back to the chat. What do we got here? Sadie says, some folk who brought you gangster rap. Oh, same folk, yeah. Because regular rap wasn't subversive enough. Right. Yeah, I agree with you. It's not good. The black community has their own beef with the small hat community in terms of like the damage that they've done to them, but they have to wise up and organize about it. Anyway, Kingdom of Vinland says, one particular band I'm a fan of is the Swedish power metal band Sabaton. They do songs about military history. Oh, very cool. They're one of my favorites. I'll look it up, man. I appreciate that. And I enjoy getting tips on music. Sadie says, Ozzy, member of the Tribe, Van Halen, Kiss, Rush, on and on. You know, um, I just gotta say, like, before I became Donald Kent, I had a very, very good band, and in one of my episodes, one of my streams, I actually talked about this story, and like I almost made it. I don't want to say made it big or whatever, but I almost went pro, and I had a friend who at the time who was Jewish, and he was a manager of a band, and the band was again not big but pro, meaning like they toured a lot, they had a huge fan base, they're making a living off their music and doing well, and that was my dream for years. I that's not my dream now, but as a young man or whatever, I wanted that, anyway, and I can remember, you know, talking with him, showing him our music and this and that and this and that, and thinking like, dude, like if we're friends and you have the power to put my band in a position where we can, take off, then why are you not doing that? Like what's the gig? And it wasn't until like years later that like the band that he managed had like Jewish guys in it, and he's Jewish, and their whole thing was just, like drugged up hippie culture type shit, and anyway, and then here's another story. This is maybe a little on the dangerous side, but like I trained with a guy, he was a Jewish dude, and apparently like his dad worked with Harvey Weinstein. And it's like, that's like, again, I knew nothing about any of that stuff, Epstein Island type stuff. I didn't know anything about that. And it didn't occur to me like, oh, if you're not in the tribe, then you don't get the benefits, and or if you let's say you play their game or whatever, then maybe you can be in the club or something, whatever. But I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't want to be in that game, obviously, so that's fine. But so I don't know. At this point, I'm really just interested in recording my songs. So I'm trying to get things going with the drummer. We do have a mutual friend that records, so that's the plan. When you've got full-time jobs and families and stuff, you're not doing this every night. Anyway, I'm kind of digging this. It's pretty much a preliminary image based on what the writer wanted. Let me kind of review. Maybe I should make her hair more full. Yeah, I think that's kind of what I'm gonna do. Bring that out a bit. I'm concentrating more on the costume than like what her face looks like or whatever. Anyway, let me check the chat again. Viking metal, yeah, I've heard some of that. My channel says in the early 1990s, the major rap blacks were rounded up by the record industry and told all their output needed to be about effing bitches and making money. Only one walked out. I don't remember who. Good question. In the 90s, every single underage girl who could sing was pushed out on stage in her underwear. Right, right, right. I know. Vinland says, whilst I'm not a fan of it personally, I've heard that death metal has roots in Germanic war music. That sounds very cool. Sadie says, check out Le Chant du Diable. I hope I'm being very pretentious by pretending to know how to speak French. Militarized, you'll dig it. Okay. La la la. So for the rest of the show, I will use a French accent to show you how sophisticated I am. Are you not impressed? That actually kind of sucks as an accent. But, so I'm gonna get her hair out a bit more. It was one of the directions about this character was that she's a redhead, so must feature the hair a bit more. But like a lot of these rave girls, like they kind of have like funky braids and you know covered in sequins and this and that and whatever. But anyway, so this is a start. I feel like this is a basic start. I'll see if the writer can work with this. I would say about this story that that the characters are symbols. They symbolize various aspects of pop culture, and obviously, you know, this is a big part of pop culture, right? The whole rave scene, what have you. So they're in a sense caricatures of those parts of society. Let me read here. What do we got? My channel says he knows how to French. So much I could say on that topic, but moving along. What's the next character I got to do? There's a character who's a vampire. So let's get us a nice fresh piece of paper. I'm gonna just make some notes here. Hold on a sec, guys. Always have to sharpen your pencil. I feel like this is. I want to center this more. Give me a minute. Is this music okay? I feel like it's kind of meh. Let's maybe fast forward it a bit or something. I could put on my set list, like play my music. Maybe not a bad idea. Alright, there we go. A little more exciting. So, what is this next character? It is a sort of a vampire. So, what are we looking for with this? That's the first. This one really is. I didn't get a lot of instruction on this particular one, but I feel like there are certain tropes that could potentially work nicely with this, like the classic vampire cape, which I would wear every day if people didn't think I was weird. It's just so damn cool. All right. kind of have to think through what's his position here. Maybe something like this. I think that that's kind of a funny question out there about like if you could be a vampire, would you, or whatever? And it's yeah, but you'd have eternal life, dude. in hell, yeah, but so I guess that'd be a no for me. One thing that's kind of weird about this character, well, maybe that won't work. He's supposed to have like one of those like judicial wigs on, I believe. So I will, but that would have like a ponytail type thing in the back, like he's from the 17th century. Those wigs don't look very like scary, they're fucking stupid looking, So how do you put someone in that kind of a wig and make them look scary? Not so sure I can do that. It's like saying, okay, make the character tall and short. And yes, I've had clients that act like that, Okay, he's got to be scary but friendly. Oh, right. He's got to be. Yeah, it's a thing. It's a thing. Anyway, I'll just kind of play with this. I'm not so sure this one is going to be, like any good, but you got to give it a try. These dark pencils are very mushy, I guess. They're like messy, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And like I'm trying not to make this so messy. It'd look better if I inked it, more graphic. But yeah, this is the wacky world of character design, guys. I like them apples. Whenever I watch like those old films where they have, like what's the one, Pirates of the Caribbean, and and you see like these characters from 1700s that have these wigs and stuff, and they're supposed to be, badass, and I'm like, with that wig on, I don't think so. But anyway, I'm giving them like a. I suppose like from the back it would look a little cooler because he could have kind of like a bow on here and then like some kind of what do you call it, a ponytail in the back. So yeah, this one I think I'm gonna maybe need a little more discussion. I'm gonna have to talk to the writer. So like I'm not so sure this is working, I'm a little bit familiar with like costume design of this era because years ago I worked for a publisher that was trying to do graphic novels of classic literature and things like Treasure Island and that kind of thing. And let's So I did designs for that and something. There's just been so many jobs throughout my years freelancing where you get people that like their publishing company just never makes it. You know, they just, for who knows what reason, it just doesn't succeed, and it's disheartening. You know, I mean, me being the freelancer, I'm just kind of, you know, I get paid and then I go. You know, like I don't have sort of an investment, I guess, but it's not good in the sense that like, oh well, I could be making more money from this company if they were successful. You know. What is money? Is money an energy? I say money is time. If you got all the things that you needed in life, would you still try to make money? Interesting question. It's kind of like the off-grid life, you know. So I posted something today on Twitter saying that paying taxes is funding, what did I say, human rights abuses? You know, because, you know, our money is paying for the missiles that are dropping on Palestine, and, you know, there's all kinds of other nefarious things happening out there. You know, nobody ever talks about the trillions of dollars that went missing the day before 9/11. You know, it's just the whole setup of like America is a tax farm, and you are the slave. Oh, but you're free. America's free. Land of the free. Free to pay taxes. No more bullshit, that's right. No more bullshit. Or is she saying no more push it? Or I wanna push it. Oh, I thought you said no more bullshit. Guess I better clean my ears out. I kind of prefer the no more bullshit. I think that's a better interpretation. No more of the bullshit. So, I'm not like really crazy about this, but come on and push it. Okay, that's what she's saying. Oh man, did I have a good time dancing last weekend? Saturday I went out to 2 clubs, and I work on Sunday. I mean, I don't go in till like 9, but you know, whatever. I'm just not the guy that like can survive on like 4 hours of sleep or whatever, you know. But I was just like, you know, I gotta fucking live, you know, I gotta live. And like, a buddy of mine is having like his last show, and I knew all our friends would be there, and it would be a great time, and da-da-da, so I went. And I managed to, I don't know, get by okay. I didn't feel terrible. Thing is, then I went and jammed afterwards after I got home from work. So like by the time I came home, I was like, holy crap, I'm tired, you know. Then it caught up to me. Come on and push it. All right, let's see what you son of a guns are talking about over here. Evening, folks. The mighty Woodlander is here. cape, sharp hair, and sharper teeth. Yeah, this guy is, he is a vampire. I'm wondering how human to make him look, if they make him, you know what I mean, like how vampires kind of transform and stuff. Like if I want to do some like creepy badass shit with like give him a really hideous looking face, you know, maybe like now that I think about it, yeah, that does make more sense. Let me give him a scarier looking face. Maybe he could look like Morbius. I'm Morbin, guys. I'm Morbin. Remember that meme? It was so funny because like I don't know, it was the one time where I was joking around with my son and I dropped that. I was like, oh, I'm Morbin, and he's like, oh, Dad. You're like, oh, like so cringe, you know. But it's just funny. It's just funny. Anyway, Kingdom says, kind of where I come from is from Jason Kuna, No White Guild Crowd. That's cool. I am, in my opinion, being a vampire isn't worth it because I can't enjoy garlic bread. Oh, dude. No garlic bread? No! You can't live without garlic bread. Bro. That speaks to me, man. That speaks to me right there. I feel like I'm really gonna have to like work on this face, like in a larger scale. Like maybe give him do a more advanced, you know, sketch over here, to kind of work out those details a bit more. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'll do that on the side over here. Garlic bread. What else? Oh, the off-grid life. Been living it for 7 years, dude. Oh, I envy you, man. I envy you so much. Vinland says I'm living off-grid in upstate New York. Excellent. Nice. I've been to the Catskills to Lake Placid. I've been to Lake Placid up there. I'm seeing this guy as having like jet black eyes, you know, like beady black eyes, like the whole eye is black, you know what I mean? Kind of like what an animal's eye would look like, you know. Or maybe a bat's eye, I guess. Yeah, it's starting to come together. Like I said, with that wig, I really gotta do something to make him look a little more scary. I think that like the Morbius nose is really disgusting. It's just super gross and weird. So like, I'll add that. Maybe these kind of teeth. I guess it'd be pretty hard to talk with teeth like that, you know? Or do I want that teeth? I don't know, maybe not. Maybe... It's tough to say. It's tough to say. Oh, I gotta give him a beard. I forgot. Yeah, that was one of the instructions requirements. Alright, let's see how this works out. I don't know, maybe I'm gonna have to change the mouth. You know what's cool is when you do, like, you make it look like you can see the muscles under the skin. That could be a cool thing. Just kind of make him look a little more skeletal, you know? Yeah. Okay, I think this is starting to come together. It's weird though. I mean, I'm not 100% sure if I like this, but ultimately it's the writer's decision. He's got to call it, you know. Once again, it's like when you're doing someone else's project, that's what it is, you know. It's like I'm giving you money to do this thing, you know, so you try to get it across. In the context of the story, it'll make more sense when, you know, people kind of get the symbolism and all of that stuff, you know. Ah, it's starting to come together. Okay. So let's see. Maybe I'll just give him more of a normal face, and like this is like it's just like kind of a normal face, but then here he becomes, you know, he transforms into the monster. It's funny, these are like the stamps from from going out to the different clubs that I went to. I don't have tattoos, no. So, yeah. Yeah, why don't we do that? Maybe we'll give him a more slightly normal face and then show, you know, this is what he transforms into. This pencil's no good, it's just too mushy. Hold on. So, like, what makes for a dark pencil is kind of how soft the lead is. But when the lead is super soft, it just gets mushy. It's kind of looking a bit better. There could be some kind of symbol on his, like here and here. I don't know what they might be. And maybe like a pentagram or something. I don't know. I mean, I'm just thinking through how this might look. So, take a look, see what you guys are chatting about. Is that music too loud? Vinland, yeah. All the taxes, right? Bear says, has anyone noticed that YouTube is trying to prevent ad blockers? Somebody just spoke to me about that, oddly. Like if you get a Brave browser, it will block the ads, and YouTube doesn't like that. So maybe it depends on your browser. It appears Brave. Oh my God, that's freaking ridiculous! I didn't finish reading. That's so stupid. If I had read one more sentence, you said the same thing. It appears Brave browser keeps staying one step ahead of them, though. Each time I start getting a warning, they push out a browser. So funny. Update and it goes away. I find Kingdom says, I find AK rifles interesting. I'd love to have one, but with how bad the gun laws here, I'm probably better off getting an SKS instead. I don't know what an SKS is, but New York gun laws are draconian. I mean, it's like you're better off. I mean, I think you gotta have one, and I don't have one. I mean, I have like rifles and shotguns and stuff, but not like a proper handgun yet. And part of it is like, okay, now you're on our registry, you know? It's just like, you know, it's like nothing like instilling fear in the populace, you know, by saying, okay, you know, even just buying fucking ammo, you know, now oh, you're on the registry, you know. It's total fucking communism, man. It's fuck that shit. Like, I'm just so fucking mad at everything right now in the country. It's such a shit show. You know. It's such a fucking shit show, man. Anyway. So I think, I don't know if I should give them buttons or maybe something like this might look a little more authentic. That gives it a better quality. Maybe like that. Yeah, that's not too bad, actually. All right, I think I'm gonna stop with this fella here. And then what's next? What do we got? What do we have? Let's take a look. Well, for now, so you don't have to just look at my drawing table, you can enjoy some artwork here. It looks, I think that's actually it. 1, 2. I guess that's it for now, for those guys. So, tomorrow is Flaming Legs. What is this? What's Flaming Legs? Maybe I should read the comments. Bear says, I'll sell you my SKS if you want. Super killing system. Nice. Yeah. You're like Iron Man, the super killing system. In fact, do you have an Iron Man suit I could buy? That'd be sweet. Bear says you don't mind if we do firearm deals. Oh yeah. I'm sure YouTube in New York State would absolutely love that. Yeah. Sorry about that. Not going to be doing any firearm deals on my channel, buddy. Let's see. What do we got? Flaming Legs. I don't have any idea why you just said Flaming Legs. I totally lost the context. But when I dance, I do have flaming legs. I will admit it. So anyway, Vinland says the SKS was a semi-automatic rifle. Hey, Ulfric is here. Good man. How's the beard coming, Ulfric? Epic as usual, I hope. All right, so what did we say? This SKS was a semi-automatic rifle the Soviets made that was kind of the predecessor of the AK. I think I'm familiar with it. It's a 10-round semi-automatic rifle that fires da-da-da-da-da-da. All right. You know your guns. I'm all about self-defense. I really do enjoy, like, target practice. I used to belong to the local gun club. It's just really enjoyable. I just like it a lot. When I was in 4-H as a kid, I was like the best at target shooting. And I had like BB guns and bow and arrows and stuff, but it was just crazy fun. So whatever, I like it, you know. But so I think what I'm gonna switch over to here, if I can find it, is get back to my other comic book. It's a you guys can talk firearms, but no deals, you know. Okay, I don't need to tell you. I gotta find my artwork. You talk amongst yourselves. Oh shit, where is it? Well, I hate to do this to you guys, but there's going to have to be a tiny lapse here. I got to run upstairs and grab something. So I'm going to leave it up to Ulfric to keep you guys entertained, okay? All right, I'm back. Sorry for the delay there. So, let's get back. I might change the music. It's a little goofy. It's just a little bit of a different mood going on here. So, let's look at what we got. We're back to Militia Man. And thank you guys for your patience with me. I do kind of feel like I want to change the music though, so hang tight a sec. Something a little more. Should we do synthwave? That always seems to be popular with my audience. Minus the commercials, which I don't like. Da 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 da. So get yourself a Brave browser, folks, and you won't have to listen to these stupid, annoying commercials. So just kind of looking back at some of the pages here and using some of these. Remember that one right there? I can't. YouTube didn't monetize this video. I didn't monetize my videos, but they're like, no, can't show booby. And I didn't even really finish inking this, but just kind of a look back at how the story's coming. There's the sheepdog character loading his, speaking of guns, he's loading his mag. And I'm just talking about Militia Man in the conversation. This character is called Vexed. She is vexed. This very angry black woman. And she don't take no shit from nobody. So going back to the Council of 12 there, and we have our angel father, and man, oh man, this book is interesting. You have a little fight scene here. That's the fun stuff between Militia Man and Fash Force. Watch out for Fash Force. Don't be a fascist. Anyway, so there's that. I think we're gonna get into some pencil work. So, you guys are awesome. You come, you hang out, you shoot the shit, and you listen to some tunes, and you listen to my crazy ideas, and we have a laugh, and we learn about guns, and we say Small Hat Tribe. What else do we do? So yeah, this is the scene where Militia Man reunites with his wife after she thought he was murdered. I gotta get my big old. What the fuck is this? This whole book is like essentially the entire comic book, but all laid out in like roughs, he reunites with his wife, and then he's got to. This is essentially the story here. He's got to tell her. Wait, I tell you, I run a professional show here, don't I? Got to tell her what's going on, and it catches up the story. Yada yada. So let me see what you guys have been talking about a little bit before I get started. We will survive. Yes. Beard is actually shorter than usual at the moment. Oh, dear. Okay, well, you're just refreshing it, right? Like a Brave browser. Is it semi-full automatic? Is your beard semi-automatic? Hold on. I'm kidding, of course. So, one rifle, want the Ukrainian IP, da-da-da. Oh, guys are talking guns. No, da-da-da. We will survive. Fully semi... I gotta... Wow, you guys are into this stuff. Pretty hardcore. I'm only here because Don pays me. Yeah, right. Yeah. Check's in the mail. I'll expect my usual Venmo later. Oh, there you go. Yeah, I've got a Venmo. I have it's, sort of set up for donations, or generally when people want to do freelance work, Venmo is just one way to do that, So I've got, or I've had clients that like only pay in Bitcoin. There's just some people just want to keep things really private. I'm always on the fence about Bitcoin. Like, is it something I should get into? I just feel like, it's digital. Like, somebody can just press a button and delete it, or like turn it off or something. Like, why? I just don't feel like I can trust it. You know what I'm saying? And then there's that whole push to go like, digital ID and making like a digital currency that is like controlled by the world banks. I don't know. It's like people I know who are into Bitcoin, there's just like a whole other world of information about understanding it, and a bit of a learning curve for me. I'd be curious to hear what your thoughts are on Bitcoin, as far as like, is it really, something I should, or we as a movement should put ourselves into? How safe is it? All that stuff, I have some Bitcoin, but I'm not like, not really into it hardcore. So in this scene, she finally sees her husband again, so she throws her arms around him and kisses him. And it's kind of tricky to do the anatomy on that, to make two figures come together in that kind of way. That looks good and realistic, The figure, so his head is here, his mouth is here, her mouth is here. head's tilted a bit to the side. Her nose to be here. I'm gonna put her eyes in here. Okay, it's coming together. Message retracted. Let's see. Bear says Bitcoin is great. We can get off the fake fiat money scam and have financial independence finally. Well, yeah, I mean, it is full trackable and traceable and easily stolen if you aren't careful. Well, yeah, could be a psyop to get everyone off cash for good, but I need you to buy in so my stake value goes up. Exactly. See, thank you. I joined a Bitcoin trading group. Actually, no, it wasn't Bitcoin. Bitcoin was some of the, like, we had both Bitcoin and cash, whatever, and I traded for a bit, and like they had this like super hot Russian girl that was like, you know, kind of assigned to me or whatever to give me advice on, tell me when to buy and sell. And you know, I mean, can you see where this is going? You know, and you don't know who's on the other side of the screen, honestly, right? You know. So at some point it was like, okay, in order to cash out, we're gonna need your social security number and a copy of your driver's license. And I'm like, and you can fuck off, you know, like I'm not giving you my fucking shit, you know, to steal my personality and da 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 da, my identity, you know. So that was the end of that. Like I didn't lose any money or whatever. They actually gave me money. They gave me like $500 to invest in this particular software, and then, you know, whatever the stock or whatever the thing goes up, and then they're like, okay, you know, if you want to cash out and get your money, then you gotta give us this information. I'm like, fuck off. And this is totally normal. This is the standard procedure for this industry, and maybe it is, but like, I'll be damned if I'm giving you my fucking information like that. You know, especially since it's not my money, you know. So what the, you know, it's just, I'm so tired. It just seems to me like everything is a goddamn scam. Pardon my language, but like, I can't fucking live in this world anymore. I'm so fucking sick of like, and not even just like the bullshit, you know, phone callers and this and that, and all of that shit, but like, just, I don't know. I don't want to get into like a complaining stream, you know, where like, Donald Kid complains about shit that we all know about. You know, it's not entertaining, but it's tiresome to say the least. I don't even know. Is that right? Maybe I need to tilt his head even farther. That doesn't really look right. No gando. Well, yeah, let's see. Ponzi sounds like a Ponzi scheme. Yeah. Well, yeah, but she was so hot and she really liked me, and but we were gonna get married. It's sad. It's just sad. All the lies. Like, it's fucked up how, like, I don't know, there's like how many people out there live off of thieving and lying. It's crazy. And but that's kind of the point of it, is like, you know, like, we cannot live with these people. We cannot cohabitate with these people. They're fucking criminals. You know? It's just, it's not gonna work, you know? I don't know. Anyway, so we're back to the weekly schedule. I haven't talked to Patriarch yet about tomorrow's theme. I want to get on board with the monthly White Art Challenge and do their theme. So I have to kind of figure that out and then contact Paul. I know Paul is still kind of finishing up some art from previous streams, so not super sure how that's going to pan out. We'll see. I wanted to do the Irish riots. That was like a week ago, you know. It's funny because the whole Conor McGregor thing really imploded. You know, he comes out like, you attack one of us, you attack all of us, you know, it's war, you know, and then the riots and da da da. And then next thing you know, it's like, oh, happy Hanukkah to my Jewish friends. Backpedal. But I mean, I said to people like, he's just a fucking normie. He doesn't know what's going on. Like, you can't hold him to our standards. You know, what do you expect from an MMA guy? Come on, you know, you don't. He's, but I mean, that's not to say that he might be really based. Maybe he does know, you know. But I just wouldn't expect it from someone who, you know, is into just, you know, getting their head smashed in, you know, or smashing in other people's heads. Maybe I should give the poor guy some more credit, you know. Anyway, I do still feel that Ireland will be a leader in this, you know, in this revolution, if you want to call it that. Just basically because they just don't take shit, you know. They have a history of revolution, you know. Yeah. What's interesting is there's actually a lot going on in Germany that nobody knows about because it's total media blackout, like complete media blackout. You know? Oh man, I was talking about going out last weekend. It's funny. It's like I meet a new girl every weekend, but like they're so flaky. They just don't. You know, you can't like, you can't. You just can't take any stock in it. It's not. You know, I don't know what to say, but I mean, it's fun, but you know, I guess you just have to kind of see these things as like this is just for fun. This is not a relationship, you know. All right, this is starting to come together. I guess I could zoom in, make it a little easier to see. If you are meeting new girls a lot, you must be living near a big city because it is dry as fuck around me out in these suburbs. I live in a pretty decent. I'm like right. I'm in a suburb, but I'm like, you know, half hour to the city, half hour to the country. Like I'm in a kind of a sweet spot as far as that is concerned. Because I don't want to live in the city. The city that I live near as far as I would say is I don't know how to say this, but I would say that it's dead in the sense that it used to be a white city. It used to be a safe city, and now it's overrun by immigrants and areas that were previously white are almost totally multicultural now, or multiracial, if you will. The good news is that in general, the people of my city are I would say, more laid back. We don't have the crime rate of, say, one of our neighboring cities, which is sky high. If there's, of course, you know the crime statistics and all that stuff. But I don't feel safe going to a lot of places anymore. Neighborhoods that I used to just walk around at late at night when I was, going to college in the city. I wouldn't I wouldn't go there anymore, or you better be packing, it's like, and it's like, I don't want to be in a situation where I would need to use a gun, like, it's just like martial arts. The best defense is to not be where the punch is. Um, it's funny that I always somehow manage to slip in the martial arts analogies into my conversations, but it's disheartening as hell. It's really, really, it hurts like hell to, just like go to a park in the city and there's nothing but Muslims and Africans and then like stupid liberals that think it's cool, that don't understand what's happening to the demographics and shit. On the other hand, interestingly enough, in like the club scene, the few I guess colored friends that I have, like Hispanic and black friends that I have there, are some of the nicest people. Like they're very, very, very laid back, very easygoing, and like even they know, like, oh, I don't want to live in this neighborhood. I don't want to live in that neighborhood. Like they're, it is what it is. Um, but it's just, yeah, it's really sad to see. Um, all right, there you are. And what's next? Yeah, it's interesting, I guess, how like when you're young, you're like, oh, I want to move out of the suburbs and live in the city, I want to be cool and all this stuff. And then as you get older, you're like, I want to get the fuck away from the city, get me out of here. But like I said, I'm kind of in that sort of sweet spot in between. Um, kind of have the best of both worlds, but I'm actually looking to move next year, and I'm gonna move farther out into. I haven't really figured out yet where I'm going, but like I'm looking at moving a bit farther away from the city. You know, um, so we'll see. We'll see. Um, I think in terms of like the long run, I don't know. Like, do I want to live in the country? I don't know. At the moment, I kind of like being. I like the what do you call it? Like just the convenience of sort of being in the middle. Having access to the best of both worlds. You know. Um, yeah. the I don't know. I'm like, should I talk about these, like meeting these girls, or should I not? Is that like appropriate for this show? It's fun. I mean, I think so long as you just, as long as I kind of keep it in context, then. And this particular girl that I met is not. She's not like, a rave girl or something. She goes dancing or whatever, but she's more of a much more sort of conservative, normie type girl, which I like a lot. I think that's part of why I'm excited about meeting her. Um, she's more of like my Promethean princess. It's funny because so like, all right, my buddy, we got a DJ friend, and he's this is like his last show at this venue, so it was an event. There's a lot of friends of friends, people that are the usuals in this particular group. And I'm really, I feel very at home with these folks. I've just been to 100 shows with them, and you get to know people. And then one, and then they introduce you to the next and the next and then So whenever I see them out at like house music events, it's like a class reunion, like, hey, that kind of fun, happy feeling. And so this particular girl, I'll be honest, I've always been not intimidated, but like, she's so out of my league that it's like, don't even try, like that kind of thing. And whatever, I found myself in the situation where I'm, hey, saying hello, greeting this and that person, and that she's talking with, and I'm not interrupting, but I mean, I guess it's an interruption where I pop on the scene and, hey, and do my rounds. And then I finally get to her, and I'm like, it just feels rude. Like we've seen each other so many times. We know all the same people. Why don't I introduce myself? So I do so, and I don't have very high expectations, but I'm figuring like I might have, what the hell, and let's just introduce myself. So I do that, and like straight out of the gate, she's like super flirty, and I'm like, what? Whoa, that wasn't what I was expecting. And we got to talking, and I kind of came to the end of the topic or the conversation. And then she says, when am I going to see you again? And I'm like, what? I was like, whoa, I wasn't prepared for this. So I'm like, okay, for starters, we're at a club and we're dancing and having fun. So, but that to me is like a signal, like, give me your phone number or something of that nature, right? So I kind of pause, and I'm like, I give her a smile, and I just go about my thing, doing my thing, and making her wait a little. And a bit later, I get back to her. I don't know if I'm gonna finish this story. I feel like I've said too much, but suffice to say, the ball is rolling. So Uncle Donald is feeling rather good right now. And she's closer to my age, which is a pretty significant thing. Like, it's fun flirting and having fun with the young ones, but you can't, you never, it's just not really, I don't know if I need to explain that, so I think you get it. So this moment in the story is very, very dramatic. You've got these two, husband and wife. She's pregnant, and she thought he was dead. And so you can only imagine how amazed she is to see him again. Now, the dude's a superhero, so, surviving an explosion is not out of the realm of possibility. But this explosion was so gigantic, and no bodies were found. So you can imagine the pain that she would feel, right? So then the joy she would feel in seeing him again, you know? It's a pretty strong emotional moment in the story. Um, let's see here. What I got going on today? What time is it? Oh my god, it's almost 1:30. Yeah, in about maybe another 15 minutes, I'll wrap it up. I got some like adulting to do. Fun times. Nothing like getting a gigantic bill right before Christmas to throw you off. So we'll figure that out. I guess I feel like dancing to house music is just pure joy. You know, you got you're vibing with cute girls and you got your friends there and the music is great and it just takes me away, you know, it gets me out of myself for a while because I've had a lot of trauma in my life and I've had a lot of trauma in the last 2 years, like tremendous. And I don't talk about it much. Everybody knows about my mom and maybe a little bit about my family situation, but choosing to do this is choosing to live. You know what I'm saying? It's choosing to be happy, you know. And you know, I know that's not everybody's scene or whatever. Like not everybody's into it or gets it or whatever. But whatever. You know. Speaking of meeting girls, my buddy last night was saying, if you want to meet women closer to your age, you should go to places where you can hear country music. I mean, he lives in the country, so like, I gotta be honest, I don't like country music like at all. I mean, I don't mind like the older stuff, but it's totally not my culture. It's just, I mean, I didn't grow up with it. It's just not me. But I had to kind of say, like, you're probably right. You're probably very right. It's sort of a funny thing. But yeah, the other girl that I was supposed to meet that Saturday or whatever, I go to the club where we're meeting up, and she shows up with her boyfriend, and I'm like, all right, yeah, oh, okay, that's how it would, okay. And so I left, like straight away, pretty much. I'm like, what was the point? Like, what honestly is the fucking point of that? Like, why? I don't know. But it's cool. I met that other girl, so. All right. Evening, troops. Chief Moody. What's up, Chief? How we doing, bud? So we are. Maybe I'll zoom out a little bit, show you guys the page a bit. This is kind of a waterfalls in a park, and Militia Man meets his wife. She thought he was dead. They're reuniting. There's some tears. There's some hugging. And then, excuse me, on the following page, he explains everything to her. So it's kind of a recap of the story, but also a way to show Militia Man's perspective of what's happening in the story. That he doesn't. It shows the audience that he doesn't quite get. Well, that he's suspicious that Judeo-Christian News killed his teammates, and then trying to figure out, like, okay, they tried to kill me too, but I survived the blast. And if this is the case, then you're in danger. His wife is in danger. His pregnant wife's in danger. So he has to figure out with her, like, okay, we can't, like, you can't let anybody know that you saw me. I just want you to know that I'm alive, and I gotta, I'm gonna figure this out. So that's that. That's the scene right there. It's just like a 2-pager. And it sets up some pretty crazy things that happen a bit later in the story. I really want to tell you spoilers, but I suppose I shouldn't. But I think that's a pretty good conflict, where he survived a murder attempt from people that he worked for, and then he has to go out and figure out, like, who can he trust. And previously in some of the earlier pages, Fash Force came to him, and they were like, so you're on the team now. Like, you get it, that, these Judeo-Christian News is using us, and that they're not out for our best interest, and they tried to kill you, and they killed all your friends and the other teammates. And because he's still kind of a normie, he doesn't get it. He doesn't understand, you know, how the world works and, all that stuff. So this is the beginning of his arc of, you know, coming into his own. The hero's journey, as they say. Um, it first has a kind of a tragedy, and then sort of finds himself through the tragedy. But then he has some kind of great mission that he's got to go on. But what will become of his pregnant wife in all this? How will that pan out? Is she also in danger? Excuse me. Um, but yeah, like I was mentioning earlier in the show, I've got a new. Well, not. It's funny. It's not new, but it's new. I'm finishing up another 5 issues for a previous comics job. So, as much as it pains me to say this, I believe Militia Man will be on hold a little bit for um, until I finish that. I might be able to squeeze in some time, but it's a paid job. There's a great crew of people I'm working with, and the new comic that I'll be doing is plugged in with our culture. Um, Once again, just a quick look at like some of the characters in that project. These are I designed these, but these are the ideas of the writer. And like this guy right here should give you a little flavor as to what's to come in that story. But I think what I'm going to do here is I believe I'll wrap up the show. It's been over an hour. So I guess I will wish you guys a pleasant adieu. Have a lovely day. Make the most of it. God bless you all, and we'll see you on the internets.